I'm Stacey Knowles, Entertainment Director for SNDJ Entertainment in Pensacola, and I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch the very first episode of what we call SNDJ Entertainment's Tuesday Questions. And also, welcome to the Oval Office. This is where it all happens. This is the nucleus of SNDJ Entertainment. This is where I spend a lot of time working on wedding planners and basically planning out the whole business. So this is where it all happens right here. Now, what this program is all about is for the foreseeable near future on Tuesdays, I'm going to be going through my email and answering questions that I get from clients. And maybe it might be a bride or possibly, a client who's looking for, a DJ for their party or charitable event or something like that. Feel free to drop me an email and I'll be glad to email you back with your answer. And I'll also answer it right here on the video as well because I know others may have the same question. And so that's why we're going to start doing this on Tuesdays. And we may even start doing it as a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live program if we get enough demand for it. But right now we're going to go ahead and record it today and post it. And again, if you have any questions at all, just feel free to drop me an email. My email address is right there on the screen. And like I said, even though that we're going to be talking a lot about weddings today, most of the questions that I've got have to do with weddings because we are in the main wedding booking season right now where a lot of couples have gotten engaged. If you are planning a school dance or a party or a charitable event, or if you just have a question about our DJ service in general, please feel free to drop me an email and I'll definitely return your email, and we'll also answer your questions in a future video as well. So feel free to do that, okay? Now let's get started. Got an email from Michaela, and she wanted to know, do we do beach weddings? And that's a very common question, Michaela. We get that all the time. And of course, living along the Gulf Coast here in Northwest Florida, beach weddings are very popular with a lot of brides. And the answer to that is yes, we do beach weddings. However, we do have some restrictions that we have to impose simply because of insurance regulations. And the restrictions is that we have to be able to set up on a hard surface like a walkway or maybe a paved area or something like that. That's like maybe right there at the edge of the beach. We just can't take our equipment out on the beach and set up in the sand. So as long as we can set up on a paved area like that or a flat surface like that, we can definitely do that. Also, we would need to have some kind of shelter from the elements like the sunshine or something like that, like maybe a tent or something like that to put our equipment under, and we can definitely do that. Or like, let's say you're having your wedding at a beach house, which is really popular. A lot of those houses are on stilts. We can actually set up our equipment underneath the beach house and project our speakers out to the beach where you're getting married and to do that as well. So we do have various ways that we can do beach weddings. So just give us a call or just send us an email, and maybe we could do a site visit and we could talk about your particular options there. But the short answer is yes, we do beach weddings, and we can definitely help you out with that. Whitney wants to know, why do you not charge an hourly rate like other vendors? Okay, so you're wondering what that's all about. Well, a couple years ago, just like other vendors like other DJ services in the area, we actually used to charge an hourly rate for our packages. Like we had like a 4-hour package, I think like a 6-hour package, and things like that. And the reason I stopped doing that a couple years ago was I felt like it was really misleading when brides and grooms would look at our packages, and I'm just going to throw a number out there, okay? I'm just going to say, let's say we had a package for like $7.99 and it said 4 hours. Well, a bride and groom would look at that and say, oh, wait a minute, he's charging me $800 for, just 4 hours worth of work. And it was really misleading. When in reality, we do a lot more than just that 4 hours worth of work there that you see at the reception. When you look at a professional DJ service at your wedding reception, that's actually the finished product after many, many hours of planning and preparation have gone into it. And in reality, we actually spend anywhere between 15 and 30 hours on one wedding, starting from the first communication all the way through until we load the last piece of equipment into our vehicle at the end of the night, at the end of the wedding. So I thought, when you look at that, when we say we had like 4 performance hours or something like that, people would automatically look at that and say, wait a minute, he's charging 8 hours just for 4 hours worth of work. When in reality, we do a lot more than what you see within those 4 hours at your actual wedding reception. So I really thought that was kind of misleading. So I decided to go ahead and start charging a flat rate for all of our packages. And basically the way that works is you can have your DJ all the way up till midnight on your wedding day. So we don't have an hourly limit. You can have us all the way up to midnight. You wouldn't pay an hourly rate unless we went after midnight, which would be into the next day. But another aspect I thought about with that is I never book more than 2 events per day anyway. So it just makes sense. I mean, if you hire me for your wedding, you got me the whole day anyway. So, why charge like an hourly limit or something like that when it comes to that? So that's why I started doing that. And ever since I started doing that, I've actually gotten a lot of comments about that. And last year we even expanded and started doing the same thing with parties and school dances and other events too. So now with all of our packages, all of our events, not just weddings, we actually just charge a flat rate, and you can have your DJ all the way up to midnight So that's how that works. So it's like I said, it's become really popular, and I've had a lot of brides and grooms tell me that they're really happy with that. And a lot of times, the brides and grooms may not actually use me all the way up till midnight, but let's say that their wedding's supposed to end at like 10 or 11 at night, and let's say everybody's having fun and, they want just to continue the party. Well, the good thing about that is, technically, you still got me till midnight, so if you wanted me to stay an extra hour or whatever, it's not going to cost you any more if you want to keep the party going for a little while longer. So that's another added bonus on that, too, and that's why I started doing that, and that does happen quite often. So, yeah, that's why we do that. And like I said, it's become real popular, and a lot of brides really like the fact that we don't charge an hourly rate, and we just charge a flat rate for each one of our packages. Now, Tom asks, how much is my retainer fee to reserve my date? And a very good question, Tom. With all of our packages, the retainer fee to reserve your date, that's your reservation fee or your non-refundable deposit, as we call it, is 1/3 of your total package. So 1/3 of whatever you're going to be paying for your total package is your retainer fee. And then usually the way it works is that your remaining balance isn't due until a week before your event. And, I've had some brides and grooms and some other clients say, well, can we make, just monthly payments, leading up to the wedding? And, yeah, we can do that. We'll work out whatever you want to do as long as we've got the final balance paid and everything paid up at least a week in advance before your wedding. So, yeah, we can do that. We'll work out whatever arrangements you want to do. But, yeah, 1/3 of your total cost is what your retainer fee would be to reserve your date. Sherry asks, how much time does it normally take for you to set up and break down? And very good question, Sherry. That really depends on the package. Usually, I would say on average, it's probably going to take around 2 hours for us to set up. And like I said, that's really going to depend on the package. I mean, if I've got a wedding that I'm having to set up 2 sound systems, let's say that the bride and groom's chosen a uplighting package, we're going to have to do a lot of uplighting around the room and, setting up 2 sound systems, like let's say for the ceremony and the reception, then it probably could take up to 3 hours to set up. It just really depends on the package. But like I said, probably 2 hours at least is what we normally take. And when you look at our videos and you look at our pictures, it looks like it would be just real easy to set up, but there's really a lot of wires and a lot of things that we have to set up. I'm going to have to do a video tutorial on that and show you that. But yeah, there's a lot of hooking up we have to do, and it does take a while. So yeah, usually anywhere between 2 and 3 hours is how long we normally take to set up at a particular event. Just like I said, it just depends on the package. Now, as far as breakdown goes, again, that also depends on the package and things like that. We have to break everything down, pack everything up, and load it out. So I would say anywhere between, I'm going to say 60 and 90 minutes, on average. I mean, sometimes it can take maybe as low or little as 45 minutes to break down. But like I said, it really just depends on our setup and breakdown location. Now, let's say we got a long transport, like for instance, let's say we're going to a hotel and we have to go, like we have to start out in a parking garage, ride an elevator up several floors, get down a hallway, and stuff like that. That's also got to factor into it too, into the time that it takes. But yeah, I would say roughly about at least 2 hours to set up, and probably anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to a breakdown at the end of the night, just again depending on how much equipment we have to have, what package the bride and groom or the client has chosen. And Jennifer asks, do you provide services for the ceremony, and will that require a second sound system? And yes, that goes back to our last question. Yes, we do provide services for wedding ceremonies. We can provide music and sound for your ceremony. We also have a microphone that we can, your officiant can use if they want to use that. But again, it would really depend on your location if we would need a second sound system or not. For instance, if you're having your reception ceremony all in the same room, then no, we wouldn't need a second sound system for that. But let's say you're having your ceremony and reception at the same venue, but however, like your ceremony is being held outside and maybe your reception's in a banquet room there, like a hotel or something like that, then yes, we would need a second sound system. And we do have packages where the second sound system is actually included. We do have a smaller sound system that we can set up just for the ceremony. We'll come set it up, do your ceremony, and you break it back down, and that's usually how that works. So yeah, we can definitely do that. But we do provide services for your ceremony, absolutely. And you can look at our packages just by going to our website, sndjpensacola.com. I'll put the listing right there on the screen so you can check that out. Okay, Tanya asks, is it normal for wedding vendors to ask for full payment before wedding day? And that's a very good question, Tanya. Yes, it is. A lot of vendors will ask for full payment before a wedding day. Like, for instance, SNDJ Entertainment, we ask for the full payment to be paid at least a week in advance. And the main reason for that is because we don't want our brides and grooms having to worry about money on their wedding day. We want you to be squared away and everything paid up and all that good stuff on wedding day, so that all you have to do is concentrate on getting married and having fun. So that's one of the main reasons to do that. But yeah, a lot of wedding vendors will require the full payment before they actually show up at the venue. So yeah, that's definitely normal. Like I said, a lot of them will do that. Dana asked, I read on your website that you do reception planning. Can you explain the whole planning process and what do you do besides playing music? Well, that's a very good question, Dana. A lot of people have wondered about that and what does that mean when we say that we serve as your reception entertainment planner and director and all that. First of all, let me say that it's a common misconception that the professional wedding DJs will simply just handle music. They think that we just come and we'll just set up our equipment for, like 3 or 4 hours or whatever, play music, break down, and then leave, and maybe make an announcement here or there or something like that. But nothing could be farther from the truth. With SNDJ Entertainment, like I said, we actually serve as your reception entertainment planner and director. And what that means is that I will send you a copy of our reception planning guide once you decide that you're going to go ahead and go with us. And we send you the 2 forms. If one of them is for the reception, one of them is for the ceremony, if we're doing your ceremony. And basically, you fill out that information, and we work together to fill it out and to make sure that everything's how you like it. It's got information on there about your music, all the events you'd like to have. And then what I'll do at that point is I'll go ahead and type everything up on a nice, organized planner for you and send that out to all your other vendors once you've looked it over and approved it, so that everybody's got a copy of what happens and they're going to know when we're going to do things and things like that. So we make it real organized for you. And yeah, we do handle that aspect for you. Now, we serve as your reception entertainment director at your wedding by basically making sure everything runs smoothly. For example, I'm in charge of making sure that the wedding party's lined up. I'll meet with the wedding party personally before they get announced to let them know what to do. Usually it's to go to the dance floor, but we always make sure that they know what they're going to do when we're going to do it. And during the reception, I'm always checking with my bride and groom to make sure that they're ready before I announce any major events on the microphone. For example, let's say it's getting close to the end of dinner, and maybe you got your toast and your cake cutting coming up. I'll go to our bride and groom and I'll say, hey, bride and groom, it looks like most people have finished eating. Do you want to do your toast and your cake cutting in about 10 minutes? And in that way, the bride can go run to the bathroom if she needs to, or whatever the situation may be. But then I'll also go check with your other vendors too, especially your photographer, and let them know. Say, hey, okay, I'm giving you a heads up. We're going to be doing our toast and our cake cutting in about 10 minutes. And that way, if the photographer has to switch out a battery or, change out a disc or something like that, they got time to do that as well. And then at the end of those 10 minutes, I would check back with you just to double check and make sure that you're ready and also your photographer's ready. Because the last thing I'd want to do is get on the microphone and announce, something and find out that the bride's in the bathroom or something like that. So that's one of the rules that we have. We serve as your director by making sure that we don't announce anything unless we've double checked and made sure that you're ready. So yeah, that's how we serve as your director. That just means basically that we're just in charge of making sure everything runs smoothly. And that's one thing that brides and grooms really do like about us, because not a lot of other DJ services offer that, the planning and preparation. And we've had a lot of brides tell us that we actually relieve them of a lot of stress when it comes to their wedding. So yeah, that's one of the things that we do there. Okay, and that's going to go ahead and wrap up this first edition of SNDJ Entertainment's Tuesday Questions. And I want to thank all the folks who have emailed me and asked me questions. And next week, if you have a question, if you'd like me to answer here on the video, just drop me an email. Again, my email address is right there on the screen. And again, it's not just for weddings, it's for other events too. If you have a question about school dances, parties, or charitable events or something like that, or just our service in general, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and I'll be glad to address that. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week on SNDJ Entertainment's Tuesday Questions.